Ran across this thought recently on a podcast. Are you willing to pay the price? So the idea was, and this was in the context of, I think, success in business and whatever, but the idea was, the idea I got from it was that succeeding is not that complicated. Like, it's not about figuring out this super tricky route to success. It's, are you willing to pay the price to succeed or to get whatever you want? I mean, like, there's any number of things. Like, basically everything in life has a cost, sort of the idea. So you want a good relationship with your wife? Well, that's going to cost you. You want a good relationship with your children? Well, that's going to cost you. You want to please God? Well, that's going to cost you. Now, that relationship is amazing in terms of what God has done for us versus what we're doing with Him. So, like, there's so much disparity there between God's side of the equation, our side of the equation. But nevertheless, Jesus made it clear, like, hey, much better to lose, a limb or a part of your body than and go to heaven than to keep your whole body and go to hell. In other words, any sacrifice you need to make here to pay the price to end up in heaven, totally worth it. But that, I think, is fairly easy for at least some people to grasp. That was interesting to think about this idea of, like, having what you want is not so much or like getting to where you want to go is maybe, okay, rather than framing success as like, can I be enough? So can I be smart enough? Can I be hardworking enough? Can I be this? Can I be that? Am I good enough to get to where I want to go? What if we framed it as, am I willing to pay the price that this thing is going to cost me? Now, what it costs me might be different than what it costs you. So let's say you're born into a super rich family and your dad gives you $1 million of, capital to work with right out of the get-go. Yeah, there's still a price if you're going to succeed with that, but it may be a lower price, than what it would cost me to get there. But still, the question is not so much maybe, do I have what it takes in terms of intelligence or, quote, luck or amazing people skills or whatever. The question is, am I willing to pay the price to get there? Now, paying the price could take a lot of different forms. It could be a willingness to learn a new skill. It could be a willingness to put myself in uncomfortable situations. It could be a willingness to work the needed hours. It could be a willingness to, like, sacrifice certain relationships, because, a lot of people look, I know, like, divorce and things like that are common, but if you look at the billionaire class, like, some of those very high profile people have gone through divorces, and some of them, definitely not all of them, right? But you take Elon Musk, for example. Like, he's stayed on the gas, right? Like, he works constantly, is the impression he gives, and I don't know how many relationships he's been through. So now, is it just the fact that he works hard? Probably not. Okay, like, I'm not trying to, like, way oversimplify here, but still, it's the idea of, like, there generally is a cost, and it's easy not to see those costs when other people, like, so you see someone has a big famous platform, you're like, wow, that's amazing. They got there to only like 50 years old, and they're like, wow, it's amazing, and they're so lucky. Yeah, they might have been lucky along the way, but maybe, what all events in their children's lives were they not there for because they decided to prioritize their career? Or, so do I think that we can strive to live a life that has all the good things in it? It has family, it has, service to other people and everything all packaged in. Yeah, sure, we can. It's fine, I think, to strive to get, like, a nice mix, like a good mix, that whatever God is calling us to get, right? But it's just an interesting way to frame it, and maybe one that has more truth than what we would like, right? So, like, sometimes I look at where I'm at and I'm like, Yeah, it's true. I mean, if I worked a lot more hours, if I was willing to take certain kinds of risks, etc., I could probably be at a different place by now. It's so interesting to see how your choices, your day to day choices, and also your bigger choices influence where you're at. Um, and So that's the question for today. You think you'll want something, you see something out there you like to have, but are you really willing to pay the price? If you're really willing to pay the price, awesome, you can probably get it.